Hello, so Bronze 8 has finished. You can see that I've got a empty character slot ready for my Bronze hero to move into. I wasn't expecting to end the event quite this early. I wanted my ANB Gold character to finish 5-star all the story maps plus craft a level 77 item for Lily Wisp. I got that all achieved last night, so ANB Wispy from Gold 7 is gone, and Womble Wisp will be able to jump into that slot. I was running a number of experiments through Bronze as well, so what we'll do, if I log into that character rather than end the event here, we'll take a look and see how those have gone. I think the first thing is that during Gold 7 I decided that I wanted to try an experimental build for Bronze, whereby I would have a combined EXP and gold farming set. I think overall it has definitely worked out well. Without doing any dedicated gold farming, we've finished up with 6.6 million gold, 1,854 champion levels. So yeah, that has definitely worked out well. So that would work in Bronze, in Silver, exactly the way that I've done it in this series. I think I made some mistakes at the start though, particularly with the epic set, which I used the ephemeral boxes to create. That initially I thought, let's run with just ability rate coming from our jewellery, and it works to a certain degree. It peaks at sort of trial 70. To progress beyond there, really you need the character to be a bit stronger, and you certainly for that need more ability rate. But it allowed me to farm the materials and the gold at the same time in order to create two full sets of legendary ELR armour. So that is good. I think the final set that I ended up with, it's going to be in there, where I didn't necessarily put extra gold on every piece. I'm trying to think of some items that didn't have it. Let's just click through. So here, for example, where I've got ability rates in, that certainly helped. I think I had too much extra gold to start with and not enough ability rate and not enough power. Obviously with champion levels comes power, but I think this overall, if you're aiming for around 1800 to 2000 ability rate for your final build on the EXP set, then that works really well. So that was something that I had to adapt to during ANB, but that's why we run an experiment, see what works, what doesn't work. So I think between, certainly in Bronze and Silver, that approach works well with a Death from Above build. I think if I was playing Gold, I would be looking at doing a Frostbeam build immediately, and trying to farm as high a trial as possible. Frostbeam does have a lot more damage than Death from Above, but I think the approach that I took is perfect in Bronze and Silver, where we've got all the time in the world. Gold, very time limited, perhaps focus on the strongest build immediately and go from there, and that should allow enough time to get everything done. Another thing that I decided to include in this ANB Bronze, which was something that I sort of last minute decision, was my previous videos in ANB have been immediate. Let's jump in, let's get the Firelily straight away, let's get GMC weapons as soon as we hit trolls, and let's go blast our way to 70 as quickly as possible. And that isn't going to be a realistic approach for certainly new players, and if you haven't yet unlocked Firelily, then there's no way you can do that. So in this series I thought, well, let's take a look at attacking 1 to 70 at least without the Firelily, and let's not use the Grand Magister's command, so let's just go with basic things everywhere. But I did use the Vial of Wind Spirit, which is one of the cheaper items to unlock with Glory. I think that process worked very well. We hit level 70 in just under 30 minutes. So Firelily Grand Magister's command weapon set saves you 10 to 15 minutes maximum at the very start. So they're expensive items, and you need Mark of Titans in order to craft them, which means buying crates and spending gems to do that. If you can do it, fine, it's your choice. I probably would still do that in the future, purely because if I was buying a crate, it wouldn't be for the 1 to 70 process, it will be the once I've hit level 70 and I want to get an experience farming set going quickly. And since something like the Legendary Crafter's Crate with all its Mark of Titans sitting in there makes that an ideal thing to buy up front and then do a really quick run to level 70. But I think it worked well. But I did get a comment on another video, and I think that's quite pertinent to this. I switched when I hit level 70. I immediately went to a Firelily build. And I think that's because if you are on a crit build, it is much slower once you hit 70. You've got a lot more stats to start balancing. You need to think about crit rate, crit damage, your attack speed through haste and ability rate. Then you've also got to fit in experience. It certainly wouldn't have worked with this experiment. A crit build, you couldn't then do ability, experience and gold farming at exactly the same time, because you just don't have enough room for all the stats to get them in there, really. Unless someone out there is going to prove me wrong, I think Firelily is the only way that you can combine experience and gold farming at the same time. And it's for that reason that I am of the opinion that if you don't have a Firelily and you don't have Braces of Mastery yet, and you're wondering which one should I buy, they're both very good. I would lean towards Firelily, purely because it is impactful immediately. It's going to be really useful for ANB events, especially going forward. The Bracer of Mastery, that really only comes into its own Troll 140 plus, probably the high 140s is where you start noticing if you don't have a Bracer of Mastery. The Firelily, it's there and it's immediate, and you can immediately tell, yes, this is doing something big. So another thing that I decided upon with this ANB was to go for a budget run. I know that in gold I initially think I spent close on 5,000 gems, but that was throwing in the legendary crate straight away, unlocking 3 ability upgrade slots and buying extra companions and things. So in this ANB I gave myself an initial budget 1,000 gems. I started with 25,645. I was trying to pretend that I only had 1,000, so I wouldn't allow myself to drop below 24,645. But by careful spending during the event only on absolutely necessary items, plus doing an awful lot of work outside the event on non-event characters, I've very deliberately stopped farming gems at 27,645. So I've finished ANB Bronze 2,000 gems better off than when I started. So our net spend is minus 2,000 for this event, which I'm quite pleased with that. I think in a way I could have gone even cheaper with this one. When I hit level 70, I did spend 200 gems on the crate with Mark of Titans in, and thinking about it, I could have jumped into Misty Island. I don't think the drops on Misty Island have been nerfed, so we've got 3 keys, jump in there, get a bunch of set legendary items or set epic items. Salvaging those could probably have yielded the mots that I needed rather than buy the crate. But beyond that, certainly having a character that had only run story up to Severed Mountain, which was the ANB Gold character, meant that outside of ANB I was able to complete story with that character, plus 5-star all the maps. We've had during the event as well, when did it start? The 15th, so 20, 30, 50, 80, 100 gems have come from daily there. Then certainly from the 17th through to today has been 100 gems from daily quests as well, plus the couple of thousand through doing story and 5-star has got us to a position where we've been able to finish 2,000 gems above the starting point. So I don't think that means you can only be competitive if you open your wallets or you spend big and you throw tens of thousands of gems at the event. I think it's perfectly possible, if you're willing to put in some time and effort outside of ANB to farm a bit too crazily in my case, then you can easily get the gems that you need to spend. I mean, there's enough there to go and do silver and still end up with more gems than I started bronze with. I'm not going to be doing that though. I think finally look at the situation with drops and nerfs to drop rates, unless you're a new player, in which case nothing changed. As you can see, I've finished with plenty amount of materials. I've managed to craft a full set of legendary push gear, well, apart from the bracer, and a full set of legendary EXP stroke gold farming gear. Without running too far into the history of ANB events, I think we've gone through a relatively brief period of time where it had become so easy to farm materials at trial 80 that we were having an unrealistic expectation of coming away from every ANB event with 2 maximum level to level 77 celestial items. And I think for the long-term health of the game, that's not a good thing. Within a couple of months, you've then got a character fully decked out in level 77 celestials. What do you then do? You either stop playing, or the devs are going to have to increase the item level cap and make all of those items redundant. So for a long-term thing, I think coming away with an expectation of 1 level 77 celestial plus an additional celestial transform is probably more healthy for the game overall. Books of learning as well, they've been nerfed. I adapted my approach for this ANB. I've finished with 154 Synergy. Normally bronze, or when I say normally, in recent bronze events, I've been finishing with max 180 Synergy, so every skill at level 8, and then having 100 plus excess books of learning, which I think is a bit silly for a 12-hour event. What I did in this event was focus the skills that I would need for push and get those to 10. The way that I sort of adapted my strategy was, let's get our experience farming done first, and then as I suspected, Trial 120 was the place to go for a guaranteed 3-hour book, and it proved to be. I think the devs always have wanted us to be farming Trial 120 for quite some time, but just never found a way to do it until now. They have had Trial 120 has been set as the place where you have the highest chance for a high level item to drop, but there was never any incentive to change farming from 80, 90 or 100 when you could complete those trials in a fraction of the time of doing 120 and get exactly the same amount of greater essences or books of learning from them. So I think what they've done is make 120 extremely rewarding. It's just a shame that it's a cave, and it's slightly annoying but not too bad that you probably won't be hitting it for farming until the stage where you don't need it for materials. So it's sort of, I'll go there for getting books of learning and getting my synergy and skills upgraded, but I'm past the point where I need the materials from there. So it's a slightly odd position for ANB, but for seasonal play, 120 would definitely be the place to go farm. Anyway, that's enough of me waffling and rabbiting on. You've probably heard enough now. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover there. I've not looked, so let's see how we did provisionally on the leaderboard. 16th. So yeah, I think that proves what do people mean by competitive. I mean, 16th with a minus 2,000 gem spend, no money, no real money thrown at it, well inside the top 100. I always aim for trying to get a top 100 finish, so I think that underlines that point. So yeah, I'm very pleased with that. Could have, if I had taken or spent an extra 1,000 gems and got 2 more healers for the vortexes, then I think 150 would have been possible with this character, but no, I'm happy with that. So I guess all I need to do is my end of event stuff. I'm going to salvage all that junk to start with. Some extra materials. We need to get all the ephemeral items and just sell them for extra gold because we like gold. I'll unsocket them. Those I'll keep hold of. I only had one level 70 ring to take over, which I can see is power because I've gone and stuck in a rough power thing in there. Those I'll sell because I've got 100 of them sat on the main account. Let's go into here and we'll unsocket all of the ephemeral stuff to start with. With the exception of the two celestials. I don't want to add a socket. What am I doing? That's ephemeral. So I can sell all the ephemeral items. Which is now a slow process. Let's drop those in there. We've got a nice amount of gemstones. Make sure there's no more ephemeral rubbish lying around. Nope. Let's sell these. So I've mentioned it in previous wrap-up videos for the events. These two celestial items are going to revert back to legendary. They're going to lose the vitality stat on both instances. They're both going to get unequipped and sent through the mail as well. And then I will also receive through the mail 2 celestial transforms to apply to whatever I want on my main account, on whichever character I want. So I think we're in the position where we can just hit end event. And there we are. It's now a main account character. What I'm going to do is quickly put on the gear that I had taken off the gold character that got deleted. That staff isn't going to be as good as the one that just transferred, but we'll worry about that. Really need that. I think I'm going to need this extra row for the building of these gems. So let's just do a quick grab everything from here. So we see we've got our Frostfire Sash converted back to legendary, the Igneous back to legendary, and the 2 celestial transforms. All the crafting materials going straight in the crafting materials box. I wonder if all this will actually fit for once. I could have sold those and should have sold them. And I just about fit everything in in one go. So that is pretty much it for ANB Bronze. I might stick an epilogue on, as I did with gold, just showing the medals and final position. Provisionally 16th, so that's really good. I don't need to keep them like that. Those can get sold. Don't need to see me do inventory management. As far as ANB Silver, I will not be playing in that. It's I've put off too many things in order to record Bronze. I wasn't originally planning in running bronze, and then had a few ideas and thought, no, let's do that. So it's silver that will get the chop, and then I need to have a think about whether I want to do gold after that, or whether the next series will be in bronze again. What is certain is that I'm waiting for bug fixes to come through, so once those are in, that should fix the PC controls, and then the next videos that you see should probably be some high trial clearance videos and talking through boss fights there. Potentially I need to take a look at the character properly. Actually, let's see how many champion levels I gained. I think it's going to be 2. Let's pick 1 there. So that's my main. He has gained 3. I've beat my season target. I wanted 2245. I've hit 2246. There we are, season's done. No. Once I've seen the bug fixes in, if the PC controls are fixed and the deceitful mobs are fixed, then I'll throw in some high level trial videos. I'm going to take a look at the old experience farmer here. It's based on pre-belt spracers trinkets critical build EXP farmer, but it might be useful to look at the stat distribution on that character, as it would be useful for new players that don't have lots of things unlocked through glory. So I need to have a look at that character and see what we can do with that, and see if there's a video in there or not. So there might be a short break in videos, but there is definitely content coming. Just need a short break to get some real life things done that have gone on the back burner during ANB, and then we shall be raring to go again. Any questions, comments, feel free to ask down below, and thank you very much for watching. I hope you've met your bronze targets. I hope you learned things to carry forward into silver and gold, and I hope that everything is good. Thank you very much.